Right. Bismillah. So today's note will be starting from functionalism. Okay. So what is functionalism? In the functionalism and in the functionalism and one of the schools of thought, right? So the other day, one of the student had mentioned functionalism, the schools of thought, and a madhab madri and it was, I was thinking of it, none other yosna my schools of thought is like madhab only. So it's easy to understand in that way. Or in the madri yosna pandre, depression and the cure pandre. Mania and the cure pandre. Psychosomatic disorders and the schools of thought and the yosine and the madri and the methodology madri epidi cure panre. So madhab also is likewise, no? So it's similar to that. Alhamdulillah. So that person, whoever had answered what is what, you had given a great answer. Thank you for that. Right. So let's see, functionalism is also another school of thought, right? So structuralism, functionalism, cognitive humanistic, psychodynamic, and behaviorism. இப்படி எத்தனையோ schools of thought இருக்கு. ஆனா நாங்க பார்க்க போறது இந்த main schools of thought மட்டும்தான். Yes, I have to ask one thing. The one who wish the that is to say the lecture to be done in Tamil, can you please raise your hand? Not the English. Tamil lecture கொஞ்சம் கூடியா நடந்தா நல்லம் என்ற ஆட்கள் மட்டும் கொஞ்சம் raise hand பண்ணுங்க பாக்க. Tamil ஓணும் என்ற ஆட்கள் raise hand. மத்தவங்க ஒன்னும் மெசேஜ் பண்ணவானும் இங்கிலீஷ் என்று சொல்றார்கள். ப்ளீஸ் பண்ணி மெசேஜ் பண்ணவானும் இங்கிலீஷ் என்றா. தமிழ் என்றார்கள் மட்டும் raise hand பண்ணுங்க. Okay, we have an English crowd. Okay, okay, some are raising their hands. Okay, about 2 people. The English wins for the day. Anyway, I will be explaining in Tamil as well. Tamilish is better, more than English, right? ரெண்டு பாஷையிலும் பேசுறது மிச்சம் நல்லம், அப்ப அது இன்னும் effective ஆயிக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். Right. Anyway, so let's start with the functionalism. So functionalism, unlike structuralism, நீங்க in the first lecture கேட்டிருந்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு விளங்கும். Functionalism வந்து structuralismக்கு விட different. எப்படி வித்தியாசம் என்றா, மைண்ட் என்ற கான்செப்ட் வந்து உண்மைக்குமே விளங்குறது இல்லை எங்களுக்கு. கை can see our leg. So we can treat any wounds that there might be. என்னையா கையில இருக்கிற புண்ணோ என்னையத்துல இருக்கிற புண்ணோ ட்ரீட் பண்ணிட்டேலும் எங்களுக்கு விளங்குற சுட்டி, அதோட ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் விளங்குற சுட்டி, இப்படி பேண்டேஜ் பண்ணணும், like that we can easily understand. However, mind cannot be seen. Mind cannot be seen. So structuralism is not that effective and விளங்க தொடங்கிட்டு, right? Psychologists. So what happened? They tried to develop a different school of thought, which is functionalism, right? So they developed structuralism is not working anymore. Let's go for functionalism. They try to understand the mind based on the way it functions, based on the way it works. அது எப்படி work பண்ணுதுன்னு understand பண்ணி அதுக்கப்புறம் அது என்ன அது இருக்கிற ப்ராப்ளம்ஸ் எல்லாம் ட்ரீட் பண்றதுக்கு ட்ரை பண்ணலாம். That is only functionalism. So it is a major school of thought. Those who thought that the structuralism is not working anymore, they wanted to start with the functionalism. So the functionalism, who is the what do you call father or the founder? That is Edward B. Titchener. Just remember that. That is enough. So, but one of the what do you call and developed area that came from functionalism, that is educational psychology and industrial psychology. Very famous, right? Industrial psychology. Industrial psychology is like things like, you might have heard this already. Food city key, when you go to the food city, they keep the most unsold items to the front and the most sold items at the back of the what do you call shop itself. That is to say, if the person is going to buy eggs or bread, they will keep it at the end of the store, end of the line of the rack. But however, they will keep the expensive ones to the front. right? Industrial psychology they found that when the people are going to buy one thing இன்னொன்னு காண போக்கல அதே மெதுக்க யோசனை பண்றேன். இப்போ பிரெட்ட முன்னுக்கே வச்சிருந்தா தேவையான சாமானத்தை முன்னுக்கே வச்சிருந்தா அதை நாங்க உடனே எடுத்துட்டு வெளியே வந்துடுவோம் தானே. தேவையில்லாத சாமானத்தை முன்னுக்கு வைக்க போக்கல அது நல்ல இட் லுக்ஸ் நைஸ், ஐ விஷ் ஐ ஹேட் திஸ். தேவையில்லாத நிறைய சாமானம் வாங்க. Only go to buy milk, but then at the end of the day you will be buying something, chocolate and anything. If you have the money, you will be buying more than that. What you need, you will be buying what you want, right? So these type of concepts, how to make people buy things and how to develop the learning abilities of the students, that is all came from the functionalism, right? Education psychology. And one thing that you need to know is not every concept is developed from one school of thought. One school of thought means all concept developed ahalla. Ana, but what is important to know is where it originated from. So functionalism, education psychology and industrial psychology. There is a note over here. You can read it for you all, this one. And then we have one of the famous school of thought, that is cognitive psychology. Very famous, very useful for our day-to-day life, for teachers, for everyone, right? Cognitive psychology. What is cognitive psychology? The way the school of thought that tries to understand and perceive how the human mind works in terms of memory and learning. Memory and learning, right? It is very important. Memory means எவ்வளவு ஒருத்தருக்கு இந்த வயசுக்குள்ளவங்களுக்கு எவ்வளவு பாடமாக்கலும், எவ்வளவு படிக்கலும், எவ்வளவு ஸ்பீடா ஒரு விஷயத்தை படிக்கலும், எவ்வளவு அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்ணணும், என்ன வேர்ட்ஸ் பேசலும், எந்த சப்ஜெக்ட் எந்த லெவல்ல கொடுக்கணும். That is very important, right? So you might have seen, obviously grade 5 student will be easily be able to do the grade 1 homework, right? So you have to level up. You have to level up and upgrade the syllabus for the grade 5 students. So how is that possible? Everything that they of a grade 5 student high grade 8 on the science subject difficult to understand, useless also, because the child will not be able to understand. But if you wish to teach the child grade 8 syllabus for the grade 5 child, then you have to break it down in a way that the child will be able to understand. It is possible, but however difficult, you have to be very, you have to make a complete new syllabus and structure the knowledge in order for the child to understand. It is those things are coming from cognitive psychology. One of the interesting concepts in cognitive psychology, the Jean Piaget is Jean Piaget is a great psychologist, and he has the theory, cognitive development theory, Piaget stages of cognitive development. Inshallah, we will be actually doing another course in child psychology as well. Yeah, other than the child psychology, inshallah, in child psychology, we will be introducing about theories of child psychology, and inshallah. About theories of child psychology introduced panna popala Jean Piaget patti neriya pesuvom, right? So we'll talk about Jean Piaget a lot. One of the things that Jean Piaget was introducing was, one second, my screen. One of the concepts that Jean Piaget introduced was the stages of cognitive development, right? It's beautiful. I'll just explain one concept called the object permanence. உங்களுக்கு தெரிஞ்ச விஷயம் உண்டு, ஆப்ஜெக்ட் பெர்மனன்ட் ஒரு விஷயம் உண்டு இருக்குது. ஆப்ஜெக்ட் பெர்மனன்ஸ் என்னது? நீ உங்களுக்கு தெரியும், ஒரு வயசுக்குள்ள வந்துக்கிட்டு எதையும் ஒழிக்கலும், மூணு மன சாமனம் ஐட்டம் உண்டு. நாங்க ஒரு ஐட்டம் வந்து இப்படி காட்டி பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு சொல்லிட்டு பிள்ளைக்கு அதை தேட போகாது. அது ரைட், 1 year உழுக்கு, 1 yearக்கு கொஞ்சம் அட்வான்ஸ் ஆனஸ் இருக்கு, பிள்ளைகள் கொஞ்சம் ஷார்ப் தானே. They will try to understand that something is being hidden from them. However, 1 year குழுக்கு அவங்களுக்கு இது அதுக்கு போறோம், அவங்க டெவலப் ஆகுது. விலங்குவா உமா ஒழிக்கிறா இது அந்த கான்செப்ட். அந்த சில பிள்ளைகளுக்கு அப்ப அந்த 1 yearக்கு போறோம், அது விலங்குது இல்லாட்டி சம்திங் ராங், ரைட்? சம்திங் ராங் வித் தி சைல்ட். இதெல்லாம் சைக்காலஜிஸ்ட் செக் பண்ணி பார்ப்பேன். ஆட்டிசம் இருக்கிற பிள்ளைகளுக்கு இது ஒரு டெவலப் ஆகும் லேட் ஆக. right? Ab object permanence நேத்தோட develop ஆகுதுன்னா அப்ப psychologist இல்லாட்டி mother க்கு விளங்கும். Someone is unmuted. Shifari, can you please mute them who has muted? Unmuted, can you please unmute them? Right. So the mother will be able to understand whether the child is developing faster or not based on the characteristics from the cognitive development from Piaget. Piaget will say 1 year object permanence develop ஆகணும், abstract thinking develop ஆகணும் 12 years இருக்கு. அதுக்கு முந்தி டெவலப் ஆகுதுன்னா மாமாவுக்கு விளங்குமா புள்ளைக்கு வந்து படிக்கலுமான புள்ளை உண்டு இது எனக்கு அப்ப கூடிய புள்ளைக்கு கவனம் செலுத்தலும் இல்லாட்டி படிக்க விளங்குது இல்ல புள்ளைன்னா எனக்கு புள்ள ஸ்லோ லேர்னர் உண்டு. My child is a little bit slow, so I have to slow down to teach the child. I have to give special attention for the child. Put it on the vilango, right? So Piaget's stages of cognitive development, where does it come from? From cognitive theory. This is a huge branch. There are rare theories. One of them was that humanistic, very easy and very calm, you know, unlike cognitive psychology. Cognitive psychology is about science, research, maths. Humanistic psychology is not like that. Very chill, relaxed, and cool. It's very easy to understand also. And one of the concept, the founder of the humanistic psychologists are Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers, right? Even the founders and now so one of the theory this Maslow's hierarchy of need, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I just try to explain it a little bit because I think nowadays it is very important to understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs. When you look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, he says that human beings' needs and wants are in a structural order, hierarchy of order. Order only. Ondu fulfill avina porotha naanga mattadu theduvama. Right? For an example, if we don't have air, we will not care about the friendship. Yeah, air andradhu illati moochadikku illati friendship engalukku vela illa. Innathu kondum illati engalukku friendship vela illa. Food illati engalukku tanmanam vela illa. We need this. This is according to Abraham Maslow. But there are some people, they will give up this physiological safety, love, belonging, need for esteem. There are some people, but however, most about 95% of the human population functions on this, right? We need our physiological needs. We need our safety needs. However, they come according to a priority, number of priorities. First of all, we will focus about air, water, shelter, sleep, clothing, and reproduction. That is to say, sex. And then we will be focusing on the safety needs. If we don't have water, food, we will not care about the security. We will be willing to risk ourselves in order to find the comfort of the physiological need. That is to say, simply put, imagine you're in a situation, where you will be like being hunted by a lion or tiger. Just imagine that, and you jump into the water, right? Obviously, you can't just take the scenario that you are unable to swim. Swim panela. So, if you are unable to swim, you will be finding it difficult to breathe. Will you continue to stay in the water? Obviously not. In the case, I will obviously jump in the water and then I'll come out. Even if the lion is waiting for me in the shore, I will just come out because obviously I can't breathe. First, I have to be able to breathe. So this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Now, first taking the physiological needs of how, safety needs. So it's obvious, right? That's why people steal, because they are hungry, right? They are willing to give up their esteem, safety needs, they steal. What about affairs? Yeah, affairs, because they are physiologically, they need it. They are willing to give up the love and belonging, the love affairs, the adultery. They are committing. What is the reason? Because they need it. Human beings need it, physiological need. So on the safety need, esteem, self-esteem, self-actualization, love and belonging. First, the physiological need fulfill. the most human beings fall trap for this, right? Did you understand everything? Do you have any questions to ask? It will be better if you can ask the questions now so that I can answer and move on to the next one. None. Okay. Anything that you wish to ask? What is self-actualization? Okay. Self-actualization is something related to, for an example, we have this thing called real self and ideal self and rendu vishayam ikke. Humans எங்களுக்கு ரெண்டு விஷயம் இருக்கு. Real self and ideal self. Real self ன்னா உண்மைக்கும் நாங்க ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன்ல நடந்து கொள்ற மாதிரி. Ideal self ன்னா நாங்க ஆசைப்படுறேன் and நாங்க நினைக்கிறேன் நாங்க அப்படித்தான். Most human 99% நினைக்கிறேன் நாங்க பெருமை இல்லை. I'm not arrogant. I don't get angry. I'm a good person. That's what we all think. But that is not true, right? That is not true, obviously. So we have a gray area. That is to say good and the bad is there. But sometimes some people who are called good, most of the time, they have about a good, bad outshine. We call them good. That doesn't mean that they are completely good. That is the same. So good and the what do you call ideal self and the real self need to almost match at least 75%. Do you understand? 75% match out and sort of if nan peruma oh itana peruma. That day one of the person who was counseling from me, he was the mother was saying that the husband always says that he is not arrogant. Then but he gets angry, it seems. Now let me ask from you, if a person gets angry, can you call that person as arrogant or not? நான் கேக்குறேன் என்ன கேள்வின்னா, ஒருத்தருக்கு நாங்க பெருமை இல்லைன்னு சொல்ற ஆட்கள் இருக்கிறாங்க தானே, அவங்க கோவப்படுறேன்னு எப்படி அவங்க பெருமை இல்லைன்றே? கோவத்துக்கும் பெருமைக்கும் பெரிய கனெக்ஷன் இருக்குதே. They are both related. ஒன்று கொண்டு தான் போ. அநீதிக்கு கோவப்படுறே வேற, இன்ஜஸ்டிஸ்க்கு கோவப்படுறே, that is completely different. However, I am talking about சும்மா கோவப்படுறேன்டா. அது எப்படி செஞ்சேன்னு ஒரு பாப்பாண்டு பிள்ளைக்கு மேல கோவப்படுறே, அது சில fair situations there are, but apart from them, சும்மா கோவப்படுற ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் உண்டு மேல டீச்சர் உண்டு, சும்மா அன்ஃபேவா கோவப்படுறேன். இல்லாட்டி ஒரு ஒர்க்கர் ஒன்றுக்கு மேல நாங்க ஒரு ரெஸ்டாரண்ட்டுக்கு போறோம், அப்ப அந்த வெயிட்டர் சர்வ் பண்றது லேட் பண்றாங்க, அப்ப நாங்க எப்படி நடந்து கொள்றேன், ரைட்? So there எங்களுடைய நாங்க பெருமையா நினைச்சு கோவப்படுறோம்டா, கோவம் means பெருமைதான். That is there because obviously think it logically. Think about it. Because can you get angry with a person who is above you? உங்களுக்கு விட ஸ்டேட்டஸ்ல கூடியான ஒருத்தரோட உங்களுக்கு கோவப்படையுமா? எங்களுக்கு விட obviously ஸ்டேட்டஸ் கூடியான ஆட்கள் தான் நபி ஆகும், ரைட்? எல்லா நபிமாரும் எல்லா சஹாபாக்களும் எங்களுக்கு விட ஸ்டேட்டஸ்ல எப்படியுமே கூடியான ஆட்கள் தான். அவங்களோட மேல எங்களுக்கு கோவப்படையுமா? கோவப்பட்டிக்கிறோமா எப்பயாவது? அவங்க என்ன சொன்னாலும் சரிதானே, whatever they say, the prophet whatever they say, it is correct. We accept it. Can we get angry at them? Do we get angry at them? We never get angry at them. Whatever they say. Why? Their status is higher than us. அப்ப எங்களுக்கு பெருமெடுக்கையெல்லாம் சொல்லிட்டு எங்களுக்கு கோபமும் படையலாம். So for அப்ப நாங்க யோசனை பண்ணணும், we can understand. நாங்க நினைக்கிறோம்டா ஐடியல் செல்ஃப்ல நாங்க அண்டர்ஸ்டாண்ட் பண்றோம்டா, நான் பெருமையே இல்லைன்னு அப்புறம் கோவப்படுறேன்னா, then that completely breaks your ideal self. So to understand how you can match the ideal self and the real self, self actualization க்கு வாரத்துக்கு first deny பண்ணப்படாது எனக்கு பெருமை இல்லை. first yes humble ஆவி, ஓ நான் பெருமை கொஞ்சம் படுறேன் தான், என்ன செய்ய அதை ஒத்துக்கொண்டு போறதுதான் we can come to the other step, right? Okay, there are some questions. One second. Right. Yeah. I will be sharing the recording, so no worries. Yeah, I'll be sharing the recording, so no worries. Inshallah, in the YouTube, the recording will be available. Don't worry. Okay, so let's move on to the next school of thought, which is psychodynamic. If you have any questions, please do ask. Shifara, please share the note in the WhatsApp, right? So everyone can see the note. So the first and the second note both. So they can see both, right? So psychodynamic, what is psychodynamic? Easy to understand. One of the most influential, however, not empirically based, empirically research based in, influenced by Sigmund Freud. மிச்சம் ஆட்கள் கேட்டிருக்கிற ஒருத்தர் தான் சிக்மண்ட் ஃப்ராய்ட். யாரு அவரை வந்து father of psychology மாதிரி கன்சிடர் பண்ணிட்டு, he is not the father of psychology, he is the father of psychodynamic, right? Psychodynamic என்றது the concept where you focus on the emphasis on the unconscious, id, ego, super ego, unconscious behavior. எங்களுக்கு தெரியாம நாங்க செய்யற behavior, we call it unconscious, right? It's inside your heart. Yeah, sometimes the unconscious is strong. We have to remember that. Okay, most of the times the conscious is the one who is in control, but sometimes the unconscious comes into the act and plays around and pulls around, and then the conscious has to take the responsibility. So the one who was focusing a lot on the unconscious behavior was Sigmund Freud. Unconscious and on the other than conscious and the influence பண்ற அதால தான் எங்களோட desires, எங்களோட behaviors எல்லாம் motivate and influence and predict பண்ணிடும்ன்றது psychodynamic கால பேசு. So who is the father of psychodynamic? That is Sigmund Freud. And who are the, what do you call, followers of psychodynamic? Anna Freud, Carl Jung, Erik Erikson, right? Carl Jung and Erik Erikson. Erik Erikson's theory of development is very beautiful. Inshallah, we will be learning that in the child psychology lesson. Inshallah, right? I'm not going to introduce Erik Erikson, but because of this course, alhamdulillah, I will be able to introduce ivangella enginde varanga. So you have a beautiful foundation on dedicate. Idhula inda ungalku understand pannala child psychology ipdi kan develop agudhu. Because if you don't understand the foundation, it is difficult to, you know, it is like you're learning from one part of the room and you're not looking at the whole house. You get what I'm saying? Right. So Freud believed that the human mind was composed of three elements, that is to say id, ego, superego. So it is the unconscious one, which is mostly influenced by our desires, right? It only centers on the pleasure. Pleasure mattum paathu vela seyra id. When you look at a food, if you want to eat it, who is saying that? According to Sigmund Freud, it is id. Okay. And the superego will be saying, you can eat now. Guests are there. Guests tikiranga ippa. Nippa thinnela. Ninga sonengi thinnonum. Right? Nippa thinnela sonengi thinnonum and control pandre superego. This is a theory that many people talk and very famous. I'm sure you might have heard about it. But anyway, we will be learning this in the next course, inshallah. Right? Okay. So there is something that you wish. This is the like. Okay. If you take this as a mind, in the mind, Sigmund Freud, according to Sigmund Freud, இவ்வளவுதான் விளங்கும். ஈகோலயும் சில விஷயங்கள் எங்களுக்கு விளங்காதான். Right? This is, just think of it as the ocean. This part is like you can see, but you can't properly see. Yeah, you imagine there's a fish swimming here. You can see the pre-conscious one, but you can't see. Other people will be able to see the conscious properly. Try to understand that. And the pre-conscious, sometimes the psychologists, the unconscious is very difficult, even for the psychologists to understand. Okay, I'm not looking at this one. Oh my God. Okay, thank you for that. Dr. Marie Narifai. Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Auntie. Thank you so much.
Welcome, assalam. Welcome. Good lecture.
Thank you so much for telling me to change the slide. I was actually looking and describing on something else. Alhamdulillah, you told me to change the slide. Nobody told me. Why wouldn't you? Right. Okay. Anyway, it's fine. So I was explaining about the psychodynamic, and then I came on to the this part. So I was actually zooming on this picture. Before going on further on this, I would like to ask: do we have any questions that you would like to clarify? Because apparently, I have been showing you and explaining without the slides. Yes. Please type in your questions. Questions you can type பண்ணுங்க. தமிழ்ல type பண்ணாலும் பரவாயில்ல. தமிழ்லனா தமிழ் இல்ல அப்படின்னா English தமிழுக்கு அதுல type பண்ணாலும் பரவாயில்ல. Right, Shikara, please tell me if they have typed any questions, right? Okay. So I was actually explaining about the ego, superego, id, right? Id என்றது விளங்காது. Even for the psychologists, it's difficult to understand. Yeah. They have to study for a long period of time, then we will be able to. Who is able to understand the id? That is to say, the one who are living very close with them. Your mother, father, not the father sometimes. Sometimes, yeah, your mother will be obviously able to understand your id, right? And the super ego, will you be able to understand? Yes. Others also will be able to understand your super ego because you talk about it. நீங்க இந்த நேரம் super ego பத்தி பேசுறீங்க. இப்படி செய்யப்படாதானே சரியில்லைதானே. நாங்க ரூல்ஸ் பத்தி பேசப்போ எங்களோட super ego எப்படி இந்த மாடல்ல வந்துட்டு we will be able to understand. So that is that. Okay. Right. So we have the defense mechanisms when you make it. We are not going to be looking at that, but I'll try to explain two defense mechanisms. There are four defense mechanisms that's mentioned over here. Psychodynamic introduce பண்ற ஒரு theory ஒன்று தான் defense mechanism என்றே. Very famous. What is defense mechanism என்றா நாங்க ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் ஆவின ஸ்டேட்டுக்கு எங்களோட brain அதை டிஃபெண்ட் பண்றதுக்கு, ரைட், அதை டீல் பண்றதுக்கு நாங்க யூஸ் பண்ற மெத்தட்ஸ் தான் டிஃபென்ஸ் மெக்கானிசம் இன்ட்ரோடியூஸ்ட் பை அனா ஃப்ராய்ட், ரைட்? So she talks about regression, repression, sublimation, displacement. Yeah. So there are so many defense mechanisms, but I can't explain everything, which will take a whole lot of time and a whole lot of month at least. So we will be only focusing and introducing a little bit about sublimation and displacement. Right, and so sublimation. Before going on to sublimation, let's look at displacement. Very famous examples for displacement is like, imagine your boss scolds you. That is to say, husbands get scolded from the boss saying you haven't done your work properly. Boss right? The husband gets scolded. Husband comes home angry and scolds the wife, right? The wife basically. Wife gets angry because she also gets, obviously gets tensed and stressed out, right? Wife and say, dog case. Dog, what to do? Nothing. It will bite on the, tree or bark or whatever. It happens. So displacement, anger. Boss is placing his anger on the father. Father is placing the anger on the mother. Mother is placing the anger on the child. Child is placing the anger on the dog. Is it in the proper place, the anger that is placed on? No. If someone causes stress on you, that is unfair, and you get angry because of that. For an example, the boss scolds you, and you let it be unfair or not fair, doesn't matter. Boss scolds you, and what do? You feel angry and you're upset about it. Then you place that unwarranted anger on the mother, that is to say the wife. That is wrong. Anger can't know. That's why the theory is known as displacement, right? Because you have to let the the stress go away from you. That's why you choose such a bad method. That is displacement, right? It happens, same thing happens in the positive manner also. Imagine something good happens to you. Someone becomes very kind to you and you become happy. What do? You become good to your wife, and the wife becomes good to the child. That happens in the positive form also, but this is famous for the negative form. That's why it's called as a displacement theory. in the defense mechanism, right? What is sublimation? I don't think we will talk about sublimation, but regardless, sublimation is something, one of the best form of defense mechanism. That is to say, in Nanda, for an example, now we have a person is feeling extreme sexual desires. So what can that person do? So he is not with the wife or at the moment, so he can go to a certain area to relieve his feelings. That is to say, not in a bad method. That is to say, it is a gym, because the gym also has a certain amount secretion of helping hormones, that is said dopamine, right? Obviously not many people follow it though, so they tend to take it in a wrong way and they get the affairs, and that is being done. However, sublimation is something that you can release the energy that is being built up in you through stress in a good manner. It could be anything. For an example, the boss scolds you, right? What happens? You go home and you think, I'm going to work hard. I work for it. I'm going to say next time, documents, I'll ready the documents in such a manner that he can't talk back to me. I'll practice so hard on this project that he can't talk back. That is sublimation. You turn something bad to a good energy. Yeah, you get the dopamine. You get the dopamine from something good. Okay, someone has joined recently and they have not muted. Shifara, please mute them. Right. Okay. Let's continue on to the next one. That is behaviorism. Similar to cognitive, right? Behaviorism is also very famous and very influential. I can even say more influential than cognitive psychology in some aspect. That is to say, for an example, have you heard about treating phobias? Phobias similar to which, for an example, let's say there are so many phobias. Arachnophobia. Arachnophobia means fear of spiders. Or stage phobia, the one you don't want to, can't talk in front of people. Stage la பேசுறதுக்கு பயம் சிலருக்கு. Presentation உண்டு செஞ்சு பேசுறதுக்கு சிலருக்கு பயம். சிலருக்கு they can't go outside. Nowadays, subhanallah, so many cases are coming out regarding unable to go out for the men. That is to say, not in Sri Lanka that it is popular, in Japan. In Japan, it's so popular. Veliya poela. Specifically men. They can't go out. They are huddled inside a room. They are always inside the room. Room game sex addict phone addict means they are not going out. Everyone is coming inside. Whoever the one who even for the affairs, they are coming inside. They are not going out. They are unable to go out, right? So these types of manias they develop and treat them. It will treat pandrathu who is most effective. That is behaviorism. Behaviorism is the most effective upon treating such condition. Phobia treat பண்றதுக்கு வேற ஒரு behavior உண்டாக்குறதுக்கு ஸ்டூடெண்ட்க்கு படிச்சு கொடுக்கிறதுக்கு அவங்களை படிக்க வைக்கிறதுக்கு தாக்குறதுக்கு எல்லாம் behaviorism. ஆனா there are disadvantages. Obviously behaviorism மனசுக்கு அந்த feelings மிச்சம் பார்க்கிறது இல்ல. They just solution focused, right? Solution focused. The problem, okay, the treatment இப்படி செஞ்சா இத மாத்திடுங்க. Right? Cognitive psychology and humanistic psychology, they don't do like that. உலுக்கிக்கிற problem பார்த்து root ke பேத்து origin பேத்து சொட்ட dissect பண்ணி அதுக்கு போறோம், they try to solve it. Behaviorism is quick, however not long lasting. That is the issue with the behaviorism, but it is very most of the time many psychologists use cognitive and behaviorism together. They call it CBT, cognitive behavioral psychology or cognitive behavior theory. Right? The one who are most influenced in cognitive behavioral psychology are John B. Watson, Ivan Pavlov, B.F. Skinner. These people are very famous. One of the theories that is very famous in what you call behavioral psychology is classical conditioning, operant conditioning. They are very famous. You'll be able to understand easily, inshallah, in the future courses. So we are going to end the first tute is just now over. I'm going to move on to the next tute. So we learned in the first tute what is psychology and padicham, major schools of thought and types of psychologists. Right? Do you guys have any questions? Can we go on to the module questions that we have? None whatsoever.
Excuse me, sister. Excuse me, sister. Are you hear me?
Farah, you got frozen.
Excuse me, please. எல்லாரும் கொஞ்சம் wait பண்ணுங்க. Farah sister வந்து join ஆவாங்க. கேக்குதா? எல்லாரும் கொஞ்சம் wait பண்ணுங்க. Farah sister வந்து join ஆவாங்க.
My connection just had a midlife crisis, so I had to do counseling for the connection, and I had to come back quick. Okay, I'm really sorry for the disruption of the program. Right, so I'll just start back again. So Alhamdulillah, we were finishing on that tune. We'll start with the quiz. Quiz number 10, which is not a school of thought in psychology. So please type in your answers. What is that? Which is not a school of thought in psychology? Structuralism, functionalism, and behaviorism, philosophy, and Taoism. 1, 2, 3. If you type in 1, 2, 3, that will be right. Yeah. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Yes. Answer is number 3. Correct. I haven't, someone is asking for the quiz note. Yes, today, inshallah, I will send the quiz note. I had forgotten to send the quiz note. That is good to ask. Yeah, answer is number 3. Wonderful. Good job. Quiz number 11. Please participate in the quiz so that you will be able to remember. Nanga padikkiraduma understand panikoradhukku best method na quiz answer pandrathu. Right? Revision. It's kind of a revision. So structuralism, those who wish to get the certificate, there will be an exam at the end. So you have to sit for the exam. It won't be difficult as long as you practice with me in the class. So quiz number 11. Structuralism is founded by William James. Number 2, first school of psychology. The school of thought that established educational psychology. Which is correct? Structuralism patti unma edu? Founded by William James. Is it? What is the answer? Okay. 11-2. First school of psychology. Yes, that is correct. Very good. First school of psychology. That is answer number 2. Correct. Okay. Quiz number 12. What is the answer? Which is not a true statement about functionalism founded by William James. Not true. False. First school of psychology, the school of thought that established educational psychology. Not true. Not true. Yes. Yes, very good. MashaAllah. Yeah, number 2 is the answer. First school of psychology, it is not the first school. What is the first school? That is structuralism. Yeah. If you have any questions, ma, you can ask it, right? You can ask your questions at the spot itself. Please don't keep the questions to yourself. It won't help you at all, right? Right, quiz number 13. Who found the cognitive development theory? I was talking about that guy. Wilhelm Wundt, Jean Pierre, Jean Piaget. Which guy? Jean Pierre. Some are thinking Jean Pierre. No, it was Jean Piaget. Jean Piaget. Right? Jean Piaget was the one who found the cognitive developmental theory. So someone is asking, why am I pronouncing it as Jean Piaget? Okay, he's a Swiss guy. Okay, Swiss, Jean Piaget and the Swiss. So anyway, the way they pronounce it in that way is Sean the Jean Piaget and pronounce Pandradillama. Okay, it is pronounced as Jean Piaget, Sean and then pronounced Pandre. Right, quiz number 14. Very good. Your answer was correct. Sean Piaget is the quiz number 13. Answer is 3. Very good. You have done well. Quiz number 14. What are the physiological needs according to Maslow of a hierarchy of needs? What is the answer? Food, sleep, physiological needs. Physiological, bodily needs. Love, self-esteem, belonging, self-actualization. Yes, answer is number 1. Very good. Okay, alhamdulillah. Right. That is also done. Quiz number 15. What are the love and belonging needs according to Maslow? What are the love and belonging needs according to Maslow? Put the love and belonging needs. Yes. Good job. Alhamdulillah. Very good. Okay. Quiz number 16. Answer. Okay, I didn't tell the answer. Quiz number 15. Answer is number 2. Quiz number 15. Answer is number 2. If you are unsure about any questions, please ask. I will repeat. No worries. Understand please answer right? Quiz number 16. Founders of humanistic psychology. Who? Founders. Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers, Sigmund Freud and Anna Freud, Erik Erikson, Carl Jung. Good job. 16. It is 1. Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers are the one who found the humanistic psychology. MashaAllah, everyone is listening very well. I'm happy. Okay. Quiz number 17. Sigmund Freud is the father of psychology, psychodynamic, cognitive. Yeah, he is the father of psychodynamic. He is not the father of psychology. Okay. Wilhelm Wundt can take the crown sometimes because he was the one who was founding the structuralism. So you can get the crown to him. So answer is number 2, psychodynamic or psychosexual theory. Quiz number 18. False statement about behaviorism is focuses on behavior that is observable John B. Watson was one of the members, introduced defense mechanism. Wrong. Something wrong about behaviorism. Hoi. Which is behavior patti or focus one ray or focuses on behavior that is observable. John B. Watson, one of the member, founder, introduced defense mechanism. Who introduced defense mechanism? Yes. Someone was quick to answer this. Alhamdulillah. Very good. Someone not quite sure about this. Okay. Yes, the answer is number 3. Defense mechanism was introduced in psychodynamic, right? Psychodynamic defense mechanism based Anna Freud. She is the one who develops it and researches about it. So she is the one. I psychodynamic behaviorism and defense mechanism based the data. They don't talk about it. Okay, Alhamdulillah, you have done so well for this one. Unfortunately, I have taken the time up to 7:53, which is very saddening. Okay, I haven't even started the second shoot yet. Okay. Right, I'll try to go a little bit faster on this note. Introduction to Psychology and Counseling, second note, which we look at the history. This is not going to be boring at all. This is going to be very interesting because I prepared this note I researched a lot and I prepared this note and you will be able to see it. I think you might have heard recently that Islamic psychology is developing very well. And they are trying to do research and trying to find therapy methods based on Islamic rules and regulation, based on Quran and Sunnah, right? It's beautiful. If you think about psychology as a beautiful science, then Islamic psychology will take the crown, right? Psychology, Islamic psychology, எல்லாத்தையும் win பண்ணிருப்பான் my situation and it's perfect. ஒண்ணுமே அதுல mistakes இல்ல. அந்த மாதிரி perfect. The theory பொறுத்து செய்யற ஆட்களை பொறுத்து என்ன அந்த குரான் சொன்னா அவங்க other foundation வச்சு psychology இதாக்க போக்க it's like nothing can be gone wrong, right? So perfect. So in order, because we are developing there are nowadays the Islamic psychology is also developing. I think it is very important to understand the contributors of the field of psychology. That is, who made the psychology to what it is today. Psychology in the so to understand psychology, you have to realize psychology didn't come as a science at first. It came as a philosophy. First philosophy the philosophy. The problem with the philosophy and the psychology is that the philosophy is that it is not research based. Most of the theory that they say something and that's it, and they focus on that and they write theories on again and theories. However, it is not a science, right? Psychology is a science. That is to say, first class lesson why it is called as a science, because we do research. Naanga adula research seyre again and again. ஒரு தியரி ஒன்று சொன்னோம்னா இது ஒர்க் பண்ணும், இது இந்த ரீசனால தான் இவன் இப்படி சோமில்லாம் மீக்கிறான் அப்படின்னா reason and the what do you call the cause and the behavior has to connect. இதால தான்னு சொல்றதுக்கு ஒரு 30-40 பேர் மினிமம் நாங்க ரீசர்ச் பண்ணிக்கணும். இதால தான் இது வருதுன்னு சும்மா சொல்லலாம். You can't just say, right? This is not philosophy. This is psychology. That is to say, it's a science. So who are the people who found this? So we have the early psychologists. We call them the philosophers, like Confucius and Mencius. Confucius, Mencius, Plato, Aristotle. These people are most of the time they can be called as the philosophers only. However, their theories were taken into consideration for the modern psychology by certain fields in structuralism, functionalism, la madri ellam naanga paathikiram. So and then we have Al-Hindi. I'll just increase the size a little bit. Al-Hindi, Abu Zaid al-Balkhi, al-Farabi, Ibn Sina. Ibn Sina English pair undi idarku theriyumu. Have you heard about it? Okay, I don't want to show this. Yeah, Ibn Sina English pair only. He's a Persian philosopher. Have you heard about him? Yeah, Ibn Sina English pair only. Ibn Sina and illa avangalukku koopidre English name. Like Chinese people ku English பேர் ஒண்டிக்கிட்டானே. Yeah, Chinese people, Chinese ஆட்களுக்கு English பேர் ஒண்டிக்கி, Korean people க்கு English பேர் ஒண்டிக்கி. அவங்களோட பெயர் பேரு நான் English பேர் ஒண்டி இல்ல, எனக்கு ஃபராவே தான். My name is always Farah. I don't change my name. But Chinese East Asian people, they have a different English name. Likewise, Ibn Sina is known as a different name. Anyone has any idea? No? Okay, someone has who? No. Avicenna, have you heard about it? Okay, Avicenna, Persian philosopher also known as Avicenna. He's a famous person. Yeah, medical books ellam elidinal than Avicenna, right? Ibn Sina, right? So Imam Ghazali's theories are widely researched and picked and solely dissected for the Islamic psychology. Islamic psychology at the moment is built on Imam Ghazali's theories only. As long as they don't commit any bid'ah and as long as they don't go against the Quran and Sunnah, I think all his theories will be okay until his theories are following the rules, right? So these people are very much has contributed to the following modern psychology, right? So Thomas Hobbes, Rene Descartes, there are so many people. And I have already introduced Sigmund Freud, Edward B. Titchener, Watson, and Skinner. Skinner is important for operant conditioning, right? So I'm not going to go a lot of information on these people. It is not that necessary. However, it is better that you can know them. They are some people who have contributed a lot for the psychology that is today. Okay, let's see. Let's take some information. Okay, Aristotle is the one who was, focusing a lot about aesthetics. Have someone heard about aesthetics? Aesthetics patti ketikiriya? Aesthetics and aesthetics and has a, I'll just type the word. Have you heard about it? Aesthetic and ketikiriyala? It's a beautiful science. It's not the science allow poradilla. And the pasanda thedi oota pasanda kare அந்த சொல்லுமே வீட்ல ஒரு ஃப்ரேம் மாட்ட போப்புகள அதுல டிசைன்ஸ் பார்த்து ஒவ்வொரு பசங்க சாமனம் சேர்க்கிறார்கள் இருக்கிறாங்க அந்த யூடியூப் இன்ஃப்ளூயன்சர்ஸ். It is sometimes in some way it is extravagance, but at the same time it just releases a little bit of a stress. So I'll try to show you a little bit of picture about aesthetic kitchen. Yeah, aesthetic kitchen, or shall I show you wait. What shall I show you? Aesthetic kitchen. It is interesting. Not just passendu and ஒவ்வொண்டையும் ஐடியா பண்ணி பிளான் பண்ணி டிசைன் பண்றேன். அப்ப இதோல பத்தி பேசின first person was Aristotle, right? So there is a field like that. Yeah, so aesthetic kitchen, bedroom, designing tools. Yeah, that is something. Okay, someone has asked a question. What have you asked? What is the name of Ibn Sina? Ibn Sina is Avicenna. Avicenna paranga type panni. Okay, Avicenna. Okay, Al-Hindi is the person who tried to treat a child using music therapy. Music therapy is very famous. However, it's against the Quran and Sunnah, right? So I don't think it will work. I work unless you use the Quran as a thing to treat the paralysis, it will be fine. So if Al-Hindi, our inner try pannaranda, not the Quran, sorry, music use panni, what do you call it? Quadriplegic pulli onda. Quadriplegic means paralysis. 4 limbs paralysis ulla pulli onda. So maka try pannine Al-Hindi, right? Even though it was against this one, that it didn't follow this one, he tried it, right? That is one. Abu Zaid al-Balkhi. His Abu Zaid al-Balkhi and Imam al-Ghazali's theories are used in Islamic psychology, right? It's beautiful. Let's see one of the things about the concept of mental hygiene. I find this concept as beautiful because it's very important on focusing on a concept like mental hygiene. Mental hygiene and then physical hygiene and then mental hygiene and then hygiene and tupparo thana, right? Tupparo aikire. And the tupparo engala odamba naanga pathrama paathukolludu hygiene, right? Halure, that is hygiene, right? Uthede patta didakre. Mental hygiene and what is that? That is a concept introduced by Abu Zaid al-Balkhi. Yeah, he introduced that. Imagine, in the Vishayanga, it is not widely known, right? It is important for us to understand these are introduced by our people, right? So he introduced the concept of mental hygiene. Mental hygiene and then so now we stress out. If something happened to you, you stress out. Appa, I want to mind ஊத்தியாவே. சொல்லுவோமே அது அப்படி இல்ல. இன்னொரு விஷயத்துல டிவில நீங்க என்னையாவது சரியில்லாதது பார்த்துட்டு, right? Something you saw. இல்லாட்டி வீட்டுல யாராவது வந்து என்ன gossip பேசுறாங்க, ஊர்பலாய் gossip பேசுறாங்க. அப்போ உங்களோட மைண்ட் ஊத்தியாவது இப்ப, right? What should you do? You should clean your mind. What happens? You don't clean the mind. What happens? It just festers. So அப்படியே ஊத்திக்கும். அடுத்த நாள் நீங்களும் gossip பேசுவீங்க. We have to clean. So there are things that you can do in Islamic psychology. They will introduce, you can recite the full surahs, and you have to say backbiting is bad. And you also need to mind clean now. Mental hygiene is an important concept that you have to consider, right? So that was introduced by Abu Zaid al-Balkhi, and we have I'm not going to go further, but however, I'll try to finish up with Abu Zaid al-Balkhi. Right, he classified neurosis into 4 emotional disorders, that is fear and anxiety, anger and aggression, sadness and depression, obsession. Sigmund Freud, ivanga ellathukkum munnuku first ke emotional disorders பத்தி பேசின ஆள் தான் Abu Zaid al-Balkhi, right? So அவரு வந்து என்ன செய்றாரு, emotional disorders 4 divide பண்றார். Fear and anxiety, anger and aggression, sadness and depression, obsession. The 4 types divide பண்ணி இத பத்தி பேசுறேன், right? So he further classified 3 types of depression. 3 இதுக்கு பிரியுது. They are known as normal depression or sadness, endogenous depression, reactive clinical depression. It's very fancy பெரிய terms ஆ இருந்ததுக்கு very easy understand பண்ணி கொள்றதுக்கு. Have you heard about the word huzn? Many Muslims would know huzn. Huzn கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்களா? Sadness. There is that dua. Allahumma inni a'udhu min al-hamd wal hazn wal ajzi wal kasli wal bukhli wal jubni wal aitani wal ghalabati rijal and dua. Right? A beautiful dua, no? And the huzn and dua. Right? Yeah, you have heard about. Samira has heard about it. So that dua and other treat panelum. That dua can treat actually this sadness, right? So you will be familiar with this word. So depression is divided into normal depression, sadness, kavaleyala varadhu, endogenous depression, reactive clinical depression. So normal depression enna indha nera summa over vishayathai patti kavalapattu adulaale stress avi koodi avuradhu. That is chronic depression enduva. சொல்லுவோமே வாஸ் ஓன் ஒன்லிக்கு ஒத்தட்ட மென்டல் இது இல்லாட்டி உம்மா ஒன்றுக்கு சொல்லுவோமே 4 புள்ளி ஒன்றுக்கு உம்மா இந்த நேரம் ஸ்ட்ரெஸ் அவருக்கு ரிலாக்ஸே இல்ல, அவ வெளியே போறதே இல்ல, வீட்லயே இருக்கிற வேலை செஞ்சு it's difficult for her. Sometimes she might develop depression. Endogenous depression and என்னது வித்தியாசம். நல்ல environmental conditionல இருப்பாங்க, டிப்ரெஷன் திடீர்னு சூசைட் பண்ணிக்கொண்டு. ரீசன் ஒன்றுமில்ல, வெள்ளங்கவே ஆகுது. She was well, why did she suicide? And you will be saying, I don't know. Suicide பண்றதுக்கு ரீசனே இல்ல, இந்த நேரம் சிரிச்சு கொண்டே தான் இப்ப. However, she did the deed. What is the reason? We don't know. Endogenous means a bodily reaction உண்டால வருது, right? Imagine reactive. That is to say, சொல்லுவோமே diabetes எப்படி உண்டாவது? Diabetes உண்டாவது உங்களோட pancreas வேலை செய்தில்ல. right? So me moolayila oru tumor undu eppadi varudhu, that is a malfunction, that is a malfunction or tumor undu undavadhu madri. Depression body la problem undavelu, right? So it's very scary. However, it is possible. Reactive clinical depression originating from outside the body, sudden depression undare. Nowadays, many people are talking about Ukraine and the people who are suffering from Ukraine and depression that is being caused by for the war soldiers who are fighting in the Ukraine. Ukraine la nadakra war la war soldiers ku reactive clinical depression undam thidirundu. That is possible. So iduvalla introduce pannidare Balhe. However, our the concepts ellam later introduce pandre Joseph Wolpe, right? Joseph Wolpe ide ella informations marker introduce pandre. So we have to remember these people introduced them first, right? I'm going to end the session for the day. Do you guys have any questions? Do you have any questions? Was I too fast? How was the class? Did you understand everything? No questions. Wonderful. Right. When to the last class. Thank you. Thank you so much for your comment, Dr. Marina Taharipai. It is an honor to have you here. It is an honor to have you here. Okay, right. If you have any questions, it is better to ask rather than to keep it for yourself. Was I too fast? Indeed, too fast, Irena. Last time to either. It wasn't too fast. Apart from my internet connection, everything went well. Okay, Alhamdulillah. I will be giving you the notes in the WhatsApp, so you don't have to worry about it. Okay, right. We have to also talk about our next course, inshallah. After this course is over, only we will be targeting the next course. Most probably it will be starting June 10th, inshallah. So, wait. We will be doing another course on introduction to child psychology and managing ADHD. A course that is requested a lot by many students. So inshallah, we will be doing that. Okay, so I'm going to end the session for the day. Assalamu alaikum. Have a good day, guys.